Do you ever feel like the calendar is dictating what you should and shouldn't be doing? Like reaching a certain age automatically flips a switch, telling your body and mind to slow down, to accept limitations, to just settle. It's easy to fall into that trap, isn't it? You might start saying no to things you once loved, or feel a twinge of guilt even thinking about trying something new. It hurts, doesn't it? To feel like you're being boxed in by a number. Like the vibrant, capable person you know yourself to be is somehow being overshadowed by societal expectations, or just the way people talk about getting older. This feeling, this sense of inevitable decline, is a painful reality for so many, and it can truly steal the joy and potential from these precious years. But what if I told you that a lot of what we believe about aging isn't actually true? That many of these limitations we accept are based on myths, stubborn old ideas that have been passed down through generations, but simply don't hold water. These myths can make you feel older than you are, convince you to scale back when you still have so much living to do. They are the real chains holding people back. In this video, we're going to expose 6 of these powerful aging myths that might be making you feel old, but are totally, unequivocally false. We'll look at why they're not true and what the exciting reality is instead, offering a different perspective on what aging truly means. Get ready to challenge some long-held beliefs and perhaps unlock a new sense of possibility for your future. Stick with me until the very end, because there's something I want to share that might just change how you see everything, and it could be the most important takeaway of all. Let's dive right into the first myth, one that's perhaps the most pervasive and damaging of all: the idea that getting older automatically means becoming frail and weak. You hear it all the time. Don't you? Jokes about needing help to get up, comments about bones being brittle, the general assumption that physical decline is just an inevitable, unavoidable part of aging. It paints a picture of later life as a time of increasing physical helplessness, where simple tasks become difficult and eventually impossible. And for many, this myth becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, believing you're destined for weakness. You might stop being active, avoid challenging yourself physically, and slowly, your body does indeed begin to decondition. Muscles atrophy, balance worsens, and the risk of falls and injury increases. You see someone struggling, and the thought immediately pops into your head. Well, that's just age, isn't it? But this simply isn't true. While some age-related changes in muscle mass and bone density do occur, significant frailty is often the result of inactivity and lifestyle choices, not just the passage of time itself. The human body is incredibly adaptable, and that remains true well into our later years. Muscle mass can be built, strength can be regained, and balance can be improved at any age. Think about it. How many stories have you heard, or perhaps even experienced yourself, of someone recovering from an illness or injury later in life and regaining significant function? This wouldn't be possible if weakness were a guaranteed consequence of aging. The key isn't avoiding physical activity because you're getting older. The key is finding the right kind of physical activity for you, starting where you are, and progressing safely. Regular movement, especially strength training, can dramatically slow, and in many cases reverse, age-related muscle loss. It doesn't have to mean pumping iron in a gym, though it certainly can if you enjoy that. It could be using resistance bands at home, lifting light weights, doing bodyweight exercises like chair squats or wall push-ups, or even just incorporating more walking and stair climbing into your day. The real story isn't decline. It's adaptability and resilience. Your muscles still respond to stimulus. Your bones still benefit from load-bearing activity. Your balance improves with practice. Embracing this truth means rejecting the passive acceptance of weakness. It means understanding that while some things might feel different than they did decades ago, the capacity for strength and vitality is still very much present. It means starting small, maybe just a few minutes of gentle stretching or walking each day, and gradually building up. Consistency is far more important than intensity. The goal isn't to become an Olympic athlete. It's to maintain the strength and mobility needed to do the things you love and live independently for as long as possible. This myth of inevitable frailty is a dangerous one because it takes away hope and motivation. It tells you, why bother? It's just going to happen anyway. But the truth says, yes, changes occur, but your effort and activity can make a profound difference. You have more control over your physical strength than this myth would have you believe. It's about shifting your focus from preventing decline to promoting continued function and capability. It's about recognizing that age is not a diagnosis of weakness. It's simply another chapter in life. And you get to decide how strong you are in that chapter. By staying active, you're not just fighting a myth, you're investing in your freedom, your independence, and your ability to fully engage with the world around you. Don't let this myth rob you of your strength. Reclaim it. One step, one lift, one movement at a time. Now, let's tackle another powerful myth that strikes fear into the hearts of many. The idea that as you age, your brain inevitably declines significantly, making it impossible to learn new things or change your ways. This myth tells you that later life is a time of mental slowdown, forgetfulness, and rigidity. It suggests that your capacity for learning diminishes, that you become set in your ways, and that trying to pick up a new skill or adapt to new technology is likely a futile exercise. How many times have you heard someone joke about having a senior moment? Or perhaps even used that phrase yourself to excuse a lapse in memory or understanding? This myth can be incredibly limiting, discouraging people from pursuing new hobbies, taking classes, or even just trying a different route home. It creates a fear of mental decline that can be more damaging than any actual age-related cognitive changes. And again, this belief can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe you can't learn something new, you won't try. If you stop challenging your brain, it won't stay as sharp. The brain, like a muscle, needs exercise to stay healthy and strong. The exciting truth is that the brain retains its ability to learn and adapt throughout life. This is thanks to something called neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. While some aspects of cognitive function might change with age, for example, it might take a little longer to recall information, or multitasking might feel more challenging. Other areas, like crystallized intelligence, our accumulated knowledge and experience, often continue to grow. You might not be able to memorize facts as quickly as a teenager, but your ability to see patterns, solve complex problems based on experience, and understand nuances can be far superior. The idea that you can't teach an old dog new tricks is just plain wrong. Especially when it comes to the human brain, research shows that learning new skills, engaging in mentally stimulating activities, and staying socially connected can actually help build cognitive reserve, potentially protecting against cognitive decline. So, what does this mean for you? It means you absolutely can learn that new language, take up painting, figure out that smartphone, or delve into a new subject you've always been curious about. It means challenging yourself is not only possible, but beneficial. It's about actively engaging your brain. This could involve doing puzzles, reading challenging books, playing strategy games, learning to play a musical instrument, or even just taking a different route on your daily walk to engage your navigation skills. Social interaction is also incredibly important for brain health. Talking with others, participating in group activities, and staying connected keeps your mind active and engaged. Don't let the myth of inevitable mental decline hold you back from exploring new possibilities. Embrace the fact that your brain is still capable of remarkable things. It might learn differently than it did decades ago, perhaps preferring deeper processing over rote memorization, but its capacity for growth and adaptation remains. Think of all the wisdom and experience you've accumulated over the years. That's a powerful foundation for continued learning and understanding. This myth is designed to make you feel limited and less capable, but the reality is one of continued potential and growth. By staying curious, engaged, and willing to learn, you are not only keeping your mind sharp, you are enriching your life in countless ways. You are proving that age is no barrier to expanding your horizons and exploring the vast landscape of knowledge and experience. Don't let anyone tell you your learning days are over. They might just be entering a fascinating new phase. Moving on to our next myth, one that often dictates how people feel they should live their later years. The idea that you should just slow down and take it easy after a certain age. This myth is particularly prevalent around retirement. It paints a picture of later life as a time of rest, relaxation, and minimal activity. The assumption is that after decades of working hard, you've earned the right to put your feet up, literally and figuratively. While rest and relaxation are absolutely important at any age, including later life, this myth encourages an overall reduction in activity, physical, mental, and social, which can have detrimental effects. It can lead to the deconditioning we talked about earlier, increased feelings of isolation, and a lack of purpose. You might hear well-meaning friends or family say things like, "Don't overdo it," or "You should just relax now," reinforcing the idea that slowing down significantly is the appropriate and expected path. The Tanshman Komanjarant Konstonman Sound. But is that truly living? The truth is that purposeful activity and engagement are vital for well-being at every stage of life, and especially as we get older. Retirement isn't a finish line where you stop doing things. It's a transition to a different kind of doing, one that is driven by your interests and passions rather than work obligations. Staying active, both physically and mentally, and maintaining social connections are cornerstones of healthy aging. People who remain engaged tend to be happier, healthier, and have a greater sense of purpose. Think about the people you know who seem to be thriving in their later years. Chances are, they aren't just sitting around. They might be volunteering, pursuing hobbies, spending time with family and friends, traveling, or learning new things. Their lives are full, not empty. The myth of slowing down suggests that energy levels inevitably plummet, and that pushing yourself at all is dangerous. While it's wise to listen to your body and be mindful of your limits, especially compared to your younger self, a sedentary lifestyle is far more detrimental than appropriate activity. Instead of slowing down, a better approach is reprioritizing or re-energizing. This is a time to direct your energy towards activities that truly matter to you. Things you might not have had time for when you were working or raising a family. It's an opportunity to explore passions, connect deeply with loved ones, contribute to your community, or simply enjoy the simple pleasures of life without the pressure of a demanding schedule. It's about finding a new rhythm that suits you, not stopping altogether. Maybe that means dedicating time to gardening, joining a book club, learning a craft, volunteering at a local charity, or spending more time playing with grandchildren. The possibilities are endless, limited only by your imagination and willingness to engage. This myth tries to confine you to a smaller, less dynamic life, suggesting that your most active and engaged years are behind you. But the reality is that later life can be a time of incredible freedom and opportunity to pursue the life you truly desire. It's about finding meaningful ways to spend your time and energy, which in turn fuels your vitality and well-being. Don't let the myth of slowing down keep you from living fully. Embrace the opportunity to define this chapter on your own terms, filled with activity, purpose, and joy. Next up is a myth that can create significant worry and a sense of impending doom. The idea that serious illness is just a normal and unavoidable part of aging. This myth suggests that as you get older, it's inevitable that you'll develop multiple chronic conditions, spend a lot of time at doctor's appointments, and generally experience a significant decline in health. It's the belief that simply accumulating years means accumulating diseases, and that there's little you can do to prevent it. This myth is reinforced by seeing more friends or family members dealing with health issues as they age, and it can lead to a fatalistic attitude towards your own health. You might think, well, I'm getting older. I guess this ache or pain or diagnosis is just what happens, and not explore options for managing or improving your health as proactively as you could. It breeds a sense of powerlessness. While it's true that the risk of developing certain conditions does increase with age, aging itself is not a disease. Many of the health problems commonly associated with aging, such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even some forms of dementia, are strongly linked to lifestyle factors, genetics, and environmental influences, not just age alone. And crucially, many of these conditions can be prevented, delayed, or effectively managed through healthy habits. Think about it. You likely know people in their 70s, 80s, or even 90s who are remarkably healthy and active. They aren't the exception. They are living proof that serious illness is not an automatic consequence of aging. This doesn't mean you won't experience any health challenges as you get older. Bumps and bruises are part of life's journey. But accepting serious, debilitating illness as your inevitable fate simply because of your age is a misconception that can stop you from taking proactive steps to protect your health. The truth is that maintaining healthy habits throughout life, including in your later years, can significantly reduce your risk of developing many chronic diseases and improve your quality of life even if you do develop a condition. This includes eating a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, staying physically active, getting enough sleep, managing stress, avoiding smoking and excessive alcohol, and getting regular medical checkups and recommended screenings. It's about being an active participant in your healthcare, not a passive recipient of whatever comes your way, even if you have a pre-existing condition. Lifestyle changes and proper medical management can make a huge difference in controlling symptoms and maintaining function. This myth of inevitable illness is disempowering. It tells you your health is largely out of your hands. But the reality is that you have significant agency when it comes to your well-being. By focusing on healthy habits and working with your healthcare providers, you can dramatically influence how healthy you are as you age. It's about shifting from expecting illness to actively pursuing wellness. It's about understanding that while we can't control everything, we have considerable influence over factors that impact our health. Don't let this myth make you feel like a victim of your age. Empower yourself by making choices that support your health and vitality. Let's move on to the fifth myth, one that can feel particularly isolating and discouraging: the idea that, as you age, you naturally lose interest in life and relationships, becoming more withdrawn and isolated. This myth paints a picture of later life as a time of dwindling social circles, reduced engagement with the world, and a general loss of zest for living. It suggests that retirement or changing circumstances inevitably lead to loneliness and a sense of being disconnected. You might hear or feel the pressure to withdraw, perhaps thinking you're not as interesting as you used to be, or that younger generations don't want to spend time with you, or that making new friends is too difficult. This myth can lead to genuine feelings of loneliness and a loss of purpose, simply because it creates an expectation of social decline. The reality is that while social circumstances might change, perhaps friends move away, or life events alter your usual routines, the human need for connection and engagement doesn't disappear with age. Many people find later life to be a time of increased social activity and deeper relationships. Free from the pressures of work or raising a family, they might have more time for friends, become more involved in their communities, or spend more quality time with family. The key isn't that interest fades. It's maintaining intentional effort to stay connected and engaged. Social isolation and loneliness are serious issues at any age, and they are linked to negative health outcomes. But they are often a result of circumstances or choices, not an automatic consequence of getting older. The exciting truth is that maintaining and building social connections is absolutely vital for emotional and cognitive well-being as you age, and it's entirely within your power to do so. This might involve reaching out to old friends, joining clubs or groups based on your interests, whether that's gardening, reading, hiking, or anything else, volunteering your time and skills, participating in community events, or connecting with family members regularly. Technology can also be a wonderful tool for staying connected, whether it's video calls with distant relatives or joining online communities. The myth tells you to retreat, that your time for vibrant social life is over. The truth encourages you to reach out, to connect, to share your wisdom and experiences with others, and to benefit from theirs. Later life can be a wonderful time for nurturing existing relationships and forging new ones. It's about finding your tribe, whether that's a group of fellow enthusiasts, a volunteer team, or just a few cherished friends you meet for coffee. Don't let this myth convince you to fade into the background. Your voice, your stories, and your presence are valuable and needed. Maintaining strong social ties isn't just about having fun. It's about supporting your mental and emotional health, keeping your mind stimulated through conversation, and feeling a sense of belonging and purpose. Reject the myth of inevitable social isolation. Actively cultivate your connections and keep your world vibrant and full of people. Finally, let's address perhaps the most soul-crushing myth of all, the idea that your best years are behind you once you reach a certain age. This myth suggests that youth is the pinnacle of life, the time for adventure, achievement, joy, and vitality, and that everything after that is a slow descent into irrelevance or just managing until the end. It tells you that your opportunities for growth, excitement, or significant experiences have passed, and that later life is merely about reminiscing about the past rather than looking forward to the future. This myth is often deeply ingrained in society and can make people feel a profound sense of loss, regret, or simply a lack of motivation to pursue new dreams or goals. It's a narrative that can make you feel invisible, less capable, and ultimately, less valuable. But this is perhaps the most untrue myth of all. While the nature of your best years might change, the possibility of experiencing your best years absolutely does not end at a specific age. Later, life brings a unique set of advantages that you didn't have when you were younger. Accumulated wisdom, life experience, often more free time, a clearer sense of self, and freedom from some of the pressures and anxieties of youth and middle age. This can be a time of tremendous personal growth, creativity, and fulfillment. Think about the countless examples of people who started new careers, pursued lifelong passions, made significant contributions to their communities, or achieved personal milestones well into their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. Grandmas running marathons, retirees starting businesses, seniors earning degrees, individuals dedicating themselves to causes they believe in. These aren't anomalies. They are examples of what's possible when you reject the myth that your best years are past. The truth is that best years is a subjective concept, and it's one you get to define for yourself at every stage of life. Your best years might be when you were raising a family, building a career, or traveling the world in your 20s. Or your best years might be happening right now, or still to come. They could be defined by the depth of your relationships, the wisdom you share, the peace you find, the contributions you make, the new skills you learn, or simply the joy you find in everyday moments. This time of life offers the potential for deep contentment and a focus on what truly matters, unburdened by some of the external pressures of younger years. It's about leveraging your unique life experience and focusing on activities and relationships that bring you joy and meaning. Don't let the myth of past glory blind you to the present and future potential. Your story is still being written, and you hold the pen. So, there you have it. 6 powerful aging myths that might be making you feel old, but are completely false. The myth that frailty is inevitable, when strength can be maintained and regained. The myth that you can't learn new things, when your brain remains capable of learning and adaptation. The myth that you should slow down, when engagement is key to vitality. The myth that serious illness is unavoidable, when healthy habits make a significant difference. The myth that you lose interest and become isolated, when connection is vital and achievable. And the myth that your best years are behind you, when wisdom and experience can fuel a future filled with purpose and joy. Remember, these myths are just stories we've been told. They are not biological destiny. The truth is far more empowering and exciting. Aging is a natural process, but the experience of aging is heavily influenced by our beliefs, our attitudes, and our choices. By rejecting these limiting myths, you open yourself up to a world of possibility. You give yourself permission to stay active, to keep learning, to remain engaged, to prioritize your health, to nurture your connections, and to believe that your most fulfilling years could still be ahead of you. Small shifts in thinking and small, consistent actions can make a monumental difference in how you feel and how you live. I truly hope that breaking down these myths has offered you a new perspective, a sense of freedom, and renewed hope. You are not defined by a number, but by your spirit, your resilience, and your willingness to engage with life. What aging myths have you encountered, or perhaps even believed yourself? What is one small step you feel inspired to take today to challenge one of these myths in your own life? Sharing your thoughts and experiences in the comments below can be incredibly helpful and encouraging for others in this community. We're on this journey together, and hearing from you makes a real difference. If this video resonated with you and challenged some of your assumptions about aging, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more people find this message of empowerment. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We're all about living our best lives at every age. And I share practical tips and encouraging messages regularly. Thank you so much for watching and for allowing me to share this with you. Don't let anyone tell you what aging should look or feel like. Live your best life, on your terms, at every age. You've earned it, and you are absolutely capable of making it happen.